Good day, everyone. It's Hazel here again from so-called sunny South Africa. Actually, the temperature is a little bit higher today, so it's not as bad as it has been for the last week or so. However, let's talk about where I am and what I've been doing. I am at the second week. I'm now up to date. Well, I was yesterday. As of yesterday, I was up to date. And my prompts, of course, are number 10, warn, number 11, scribbles or doodles. That would take care of yesterday and today. So I spent yesterday trying to make up my mind what to do with warn, and came up with an idea that I quite like. So it goes something like this. I have these jeans. They started off as stretch denim, and I bought them in the early 2000s. I'd say probably around about 2005. No, about 2007. Excuse me. And I loved them. I loved their fit. They were bootleg jeans. And I wore them and wore them and wore them until they lost their elasticity and got baggy, in which case I then altered them and made them tighter, but kept the width at the bottom, because I used to love bell bottoms when they were fashionable, and I rather like bootleg jeans because they have that flare at the base. Anyway, long story short, I wore them and wore them and wore them until they started wearing into holes. And then I thought, okay, I'll put them away. I'm going to take them apart and I'm going to use them as a pattern to cut more because the fit was so good. However, I then got bored and I was running out of clothes and I didn't quite know where to go next. And I thought, you know what? I used to be pretty much a child of the 60s. I loved the hippies sort of vibe. I loved the, make peace, not war, all that sort of thing. And why not turn these into patched up hippie jeans? So that's what I did. And they've now reached the stage where they are so fragile that I'm scared of putting them in the washing machine because they'll probably fall apart on me. And I've decided that these two particular pieces of the photos are the ones I'm going to use as a background, because you can see where I darned them. If you look here, you see those sort of whitish patches. That's where I stitched with my sewing machine, backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards on top of an internal patch. It's the same here. That little section there, you can see it's just masses of stitching, and that's all that's holding these things together. So, as I said, that's what's going to happen. So these are going to go here. I am going to use one of these photographs to make a pocket at the base, because I like all the color, you know. So this pocket will go at the base, and then I have roughly sketched a hippie girl in her bell-bottom jeans, which I'm going to complete and attach to this picture in however, and turn her into a tag, a tall tag. So that is the plan for this one. Oh, I must I don't know if you're going to find this interesting, but I just thought it was. You know, these tags that I made were taken from the back of a picture that I'd used for another prompt. But I rather like this color combination of purple and orange, and I had forgotten that that was a fairly popular color combination in my heyday, which was the 50s and the 60s and 70s. So this morning when I got dressed, I decided I'm going to wear orange and purple. So there we have it, folks. That's me being up to date 70s style. Okay, that's glued down. Now this is the piece that I want to use as a pocket. Which way did I? Oh yeah, I wanted to use it this way. Oops, line up properly. That's what I love about this cutting board, is you can do a straight line without trying too hard. Okay, there we go. I'm not just being lazy, but I like the effect of tearing instead of cutting. Okay, so now this needs to be, however, we need a fold, do we not? Because we're going to make this a pocket that opens and closes easily. So that like that. That will go there. And I will be wanting to tuck that under. Now, do I want to tuck it under this way or that way? I think I'm going to do it this way, because this is a knitted blanket that was on my bed when I took this photograph. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll just wait. Yes, I can. Push it down too hard. Yes, that's fine. I like it. I do. Just have to make sure that I like it. So in this, I would need to cut about here. I'm saying yes. There we go, because now let's make sure I've got it right. I can stick out just a little bit on each side though, can't I? Because that actually indicates that it's a pocket. That's what I'm going to do, because you see, if I do that, you can see the little edges just jutting out on each side, which shows that it's a pocket. Is it going to be too deep, perhaps? Maybe I need to, I'm just going to fold this carefully, not too much. Yes, I actually think it does need to be brought down like that. Okay, that's fine. I do want to just trim this to the same width Don't mind cutting here with the scissors because it's going to be hidden. There we go. Now, something I learnt watching other tutorials was that when you do folds, you need to cut away the corners so that you get a nice, neat base. Hence, I cut corners. Here we go. Now, this is the top. So this is the one that needs to be glued down. And there we have it. There's the pocket done. I think that's going to look quite nice, don't you? Here we go. So now while this is drying, I will be carrying on with my little hippie sketch. And let's have a look at that just now. Well, this is coming along quite nicely, so I'm happy about that. I just want to here we go. That took a little bit of focus, you see. So I get halfway through what I'm saying and I just stop, don't I? Okay. Basically, all that's left now is the legs. It's amazing. I haven't drawn like this since about the 70s. And I just seemed to automatically know how to go. It's quite fantastic when you think about it, hey? I might, I don't know. Don't think I've got a flesh colored acrylic marker, but I might have, I'll probably use paint for the skin and then come back and do a little bit of marking with a marker instead of painting. It will be better for this paper because this is just copy paper, and of course it ripples and curls up and misbehaves. There you go. I'm quite happy with her. I think she's looking quite cute. Let's see how she turns out at the end of the day. Well, unfortunately, we were interrupted by a telephone call, so that's why the last clip ended so abruptly. But what I did was I went ahead and I completed the tag. I colored her in with my acrylic markers, deliberately distressed looking genes, and then the flesh color I used the crayon, and that was how I finished her. Now she's attached to the tag, and all that's left to do with the tag is for me to put a little tassel or something like that there, which I will do. And she fits into the pocket like this, which I think is perfect. And I was a little bit concerned that the two, the busy backgrounds were going to detract from the effect, but I'm actually quite pleased with it so far. Anyway, and on the back of this, I'm going to be writing some words that will hopefully recapture that era of flowers and Woodstock and all the other magical things that happened in those years in spite of the ugliness of war. So yeah, we will continue very shortly. We've nearly done with my little lady here. I just need to find the piece of ribbon for her tag. So there we have her. I decided to outline her in quite a heavy black line because that does kind of bring her to the foreground of the kind of busy background. Now let's get this. I want to try and make it. Let me see if I can do it this way. I want to try and make it have all the spots. Have all the spots showing instead of one side being spotty and the other side being plain. I think I might be able to pull this off. Let me just stop nattering and focus. Got it through. Now the trick is to just keep the spots on the top. By George, I think I've done it. I seem to be fated to be interrupted by telephone calls. I must remember not to come down here with my phone, because it seems to be a signal for everybody to contact me. Okay, so we're finished here. I have written on the back of this, it's the words to a song that was top of the pops, late 60s, early 70s, I think, by a British singer called Mary Hopkins. And this little song is set to the tune of a Russian folk song, if I remember correctly, but it was called Those Were the Days. And the words are lovely, because it's those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd live the life we choose, we'd fight and never lose. Those were the days, oh yes, those were the days. And I must admit, I only have to think about that song and I become a little bit nostalgic for all the wonderful times we had. Okay, enough of that. Let's put that away. So we have now finished the worn prompt, and I have ticked it off. Now we're on to scribbles and doodles. This one I really did have fun with. This one is something I have never tried before. I scribbled. So I scribbled a picture, and this is the result. But I have to confess that I'm rather pleased with it. I've got this cute little entity, kind of little stick-like entity, lurking in the bottom of somebody's garden, and obviously up to some mischief. And I just love the way this turned out. I'm perfectly happy with it. I know it's still scritchy and scribbly. That's what it's meant to look like. And I'm actually not going to touch it. I'm not adding any more to this one. I just love him the way he is. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. But I rather like him. And in fact, I may be doing a bit more scritchy, scribbly picturing. It's just a possibility. Okay, so we are now up to date as far as Tuesday. And seeing as how today is Wednesday, I am a little bit behind, am I not? But that's fine, because I can catch up quite quickly. I know exactly what I'm going to do for the next prompt, which is window or peek through. I know exactly what I'm doing there. And I've actually done it once before, but I'm not going to cheat and just show the last one. I'm going to make another one. And the one after that is map. So that can also be fun. And we'll work on that. But again, I would love to thank you people for, let me turn this round, because I keep forgetting, with my webcam being above the screen, everything's kind of a mirror image. I mean, this is my right hand, this is my left hand, just for starters. Okay, so here we have it. Again, I would like to thank you all profusely for the fantastic support I've been getting, for the amazing subscriptions that I'm getting, and I'm trying wherever I can, if I find out who is has subscribed to me, then I subscribe in return. I return the compliment. And your comments are fabulous. They're so inspirational. I'm happier now than I have been for ages. I feel like I'm a part of a crowd. And although we're all thousands and thousands of kilometers apart, I just feel like we're part of a group. Anyway, enough of the nattering. So as usual, please click like if you like what I've done. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And remember the comments. The comments are essential. They are what makes my day, is reading the comments after somebody has watched my video. So until next time, which will be the end of this week, I imagine, stay safe, stay well, and bye-bye.